Hello and welcome to the Running in the Dark podcast, the podcast about business, not running. And welcome to week one, our launch week. I'm so excited that we are finally here. This podcast has been a project 5 years in the making. So thank you to everyone who's joined us. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Katherine. I've done a little episode so you can go and find out more about me. And for those of you who know who I am, just stay here. We'll jump right in. So I've just come back off a 4-day weekend. I hope everyone else in the UK has enjoyed their long weekend. I'm feeling really refreshed, really energized, and so excited to be finally going live with this podcast. So deciding where we started was a tricky decision, and we finally went for today's episode, where we're going to be talking about getting paid. Now, getting paid is such a massive problem for small businesses, and this is how I mastered it. This is I genuinely believe, some of the best advice I can give people. And it's a tactic that worked brilliantly for me. And it's a tactic that I know people still use today. So here we go. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. Find me on socials. Let me know what you think. And most importantly, let me know if I have been helpful. Okay, guys, let's do this. Today's lesson, getting paid. I would love to tell you that getting paid is really simple. You start a business or you go freelance, you write the invoice, you send it, and 12, 14, 30 days later you get paid. Nice and simple. I'm afraid to tell you that this won't always be the case. There's lots of reasons why people don't pay. Sometimes people are just forgetful. Sometimes people are having cash flow issues, or they just need a little bit more time. Unfortunately, sometimes there are people who just have no intention of paying at all. Now, don't get me wrong, these are normally few and far between. In my 7 or 8 years, maybe, of being a freelancer and a business owner, I've only ever had one person who had no intention of paying. They are rare, but sadly they do happen. But let's not think about these people. Let's think about the usual clients that we love working with, we enjoy working with. And at the end of the month, we send out that invoice, but they don't pay it. And then we don't really know what to do, because especially when you first start, you are the person liaising with this client. You are the person who's got that strong relationship and you enjoy working with them. You want to keep going. So you're sending them emails, you're sending them updates, and at the bottom you're just going, oh, by the way, the invoice is still outstanding. Can you look into this for me, please? And what happens? They reply to everything else in your email, but forget the one important thing about paying the invoice. So what do you do? How can you combat this? You don't want to ruin the relationship. You like working with the client, but you do need to get paid. If you do nothing else from all of my podcasts, please take this one bit of advice. Set up an accounts at email. It got to the point where I had so many invoices outstanding and I was asking people, I was chasing people for the invoice, but I just couldn't move on it. So in the end, I invented a scary bookkeeper. Ironically, about 6 to 9 months later, I did get a scary bookkeeper, so this may have bitten me in the foot slightly. But what I did was tell everyone that I'd hired a bookkeeper. I set up an accounts at email address. These cost about 70p a month. And what that meant was all of a sudden there was a clear divide. I was the person doing the work. I was the person liaising with you. I was the person in charge of the relationship. But we did now have a bookkeeper whose core responsibility it was to make sure we got paid. What this meant was all of a sudden I could chase for invoices. I could be more forceful for invoices. I could make sure I got paid. The best thing, what I could also do was warn people. So, I've got a scary bookkeeper. She's really very firm. But you know what? I'll talk to her. What this did was allowed me to side with my client while chasing in the background. It meant that I helped sustain those relationships. Actually, in some regards, it actually allowed me to strengthen the relationship. Because what that meant was we were chasing, but I was still on the client's side. By the time I created my accounts at email address, I think we suddenly got all invoices paid on time. And those who didn't were very honest and transparent and were giving us information like, there's a slight cash flow problem. Can we arrange a payment plan? Of course you can arrange a payment plan. We just need communication from you. It's that simple. Or there's a problem with this invoice, can you fix it? It just meant that those lines of comms were open straight away, and it did result in much better payment coming into the company. It is a small investment and it will save you time in the long run. So for the sake of 70p a month, please go and create an accounts at email address. It will massively help the cash flow of your business. Good luck.